Hello, everyone. It is Friday. Good Friday to everyone. It's Chat with Mac. We're glad to have all of you join us. For those of you that are new to what we do, we welcome you to our little show, if you will. And for those of you that are always looking, we really appreciate you. We appreciate your feedback. And welcome, welcome, welcome to everyone. Nadeem, how's it going, sir? It's been a busy week.
Yeah. I'm doing good. Yeah, it's been a fun week. A lot of stuff happening, a lot of
Yeah.
things. I mean, just not just with us, but the IT industry as a whole, a lot of changes
Yeah, a lot
happening.
of
It's
changes.
almost like, it's almost like the IT industry was a child and all of a sudden it has grown up.
Yeah, especially with what's been going on. I don't know if I've remember seeing so many acquisitions that's been going on, if you will, within the IT world. It seems like up until maybe I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, it was always this company with this company. Everything has been freestanding, and now, for those of you that don't know, Datto was it bought by Kaseya?
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
So,
Talk a little
so
bit
not
about that. What
just
do you see? What do you see going on? Why is all of this happening?
well, so a couple of things. First of all, let me just put things into context. Um, Kaseya is buying Datto for I think it's like 6.2 billion.
Wow.
Largest acquisition in the history of the world when it goes to IT. Never been this big when it comes to IT. And that's why, yeah, specifically IT services. So that's why I say, the IT services kind of all of a sudden grew up. I mean, yeah, there've been small mergers and acquisitions, little things here and there, a few million here, a few million there, but over 6 billion,
Yeah.
unheard of.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things happening as far as the maturity of the industry as a whole.
Right.
The whole industry is just maturing. The barrier to entry for MSPs is getting higher. Um, the small businesses that used to get along just fine with, you know, their cousin or their brother or whatever doing IT on the side, those days are gone. You
Those days are
can't
gone.
do IT without the proper procedure, the process, the tool set. Everything has to be together for IT to work. And along with that, the bigger thing that's happening right now is the uh, security side of things.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing that's going on right now is even it doesn't matter if you're small, if you're big, it doesn't matter what your size is. You need to have that secure environment to be able to be in business with, especially not just customers, but customers and vendors. Their vendors and customers are demanding that you have certain baseline security protocols in place,
Yeah.
and you cannot do that with just one person. I mean, that security by itself, that's a specialization by itself. I
Yeah.
mean, you can just specialize in security, that's it, nothing
Yeah.
else. So one person who used to do IT, who used to be an IT admin, can't really do the IT admin function and do the security function along with it, and do all the other things like the routine, the centralized services. And so there's the five roles. We talk about the five roles, and those five roles are the same, right? The centralized services, the
Right.
project services, the TAM, the VCIO, and the reactive support. So the security actually goes along multiple roles here. So there is a role that the centralized services plays, the project services plays, and the VCIO plays when it comes to security. So it's a huge thing all of a sudden. And there is going to be more and more consolidation.
And you
when
said this. You said, I remember
yeah, yeah.
you said this at the beginning
I
of
didn't
the
have
year.
any idea it was
That,
going to be this
but
big.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's and we still don't know all the details because Datto is a public company and then Kaseya is private. So they're gonna buy this public entity and take it private. So, but the thing is they would not have publicly announced this if they didn't know it was going to happen. So
Yeah,
chances are very high that yeah, it's a done deal that
yeah.
Kaseya is going to buy it. And we don't want to get into there's always people saying oh Kaseya is going to do this with it or Datto's going to do that with it, whatever it is. The bottom line is it's $6 billion on the table that they're buying it for, and um, we're just sitting at the uh, the big boys table now.
Yeah.
It's the industry has just changed, it's just matured, and we're seeing the changes, the impact. Uh, the landscape changed. There's a lot of security companies that are now coming into play. Uh, Companies that were the old companies, like I mean the really old ones that are dying out. I mean, like look at Symantec. What is Symantec doing? They bought what was that a while back? They bought LifeLock. It's like what the hell? What I mean, what you don't do IT anymore? But anyway, so the thing is the older behemoths they are feeling the pain that the new guys, the more the agile the you know highly focused guys are doing a much better job when it comes to security. It's not a matter of, nowadays you can't just stick an antivirus on a system and call it good. That doesn't work anymore. You got to go
It
way
doesn't.
beyond that. I mean, you have
Yeah.
you have behavioral analytics, you have the SOC, you have the SIEM. I mean, you have all kinds of things that happen in the back end.
Can we kind of tap into that vein just a little bit because it's amazing to me, in my calls to some of these small businesses, the the we have enough quote unquote attitude when it comes to security. So, when they talk about, yeah, we I told you, I think last week where a guy was like, yeah, we got a firewall in place and a couple of things. And it's like, you obviously haven't been watching the news because that's not enough. And so I want to tap into that because it seems as if the smaller businesses, for the most part, really haven't gotten a message that the same old same, the ordinary, is going to cost you money, somewhere down the line. We see it on the regular, but I don't know why, and maybe you can talk about this, why smaller businesses aren't necessarily paying attention and saying, hey, we need to shore up our defenses.
I've heard arguments all across the board from arguments like, oh, but we hire good people. Oh, but our people are very good. I mean, or oh, our users will never do that. And it's like, get your head out of the sand. I mean, nobody's saying your users are stupid. I mean, anybody can get hacked. It's not
Yeah,
a matter of how smart you are or how dumb you are. That has nothing to do with it.
yeah,
I mean, I have like high dollar lawyers getting hacked, and they call me,
that's
"Hey,
true.
Nadine, I should have known, but I did this, and now this happened."
Yeah,
Doctors, I
yeah,
mean, and doctors of both types, the medical type and the PhD type. I've
yeah,
had both of them.
yeah.
So the thing is, you know, it's not the people or anything like that. It's the process that you have in place is what makes or breaks security. And people think, oh well, it's a lot of money I have to spend every month to have this process in place. But then all it takes is one breach. Just
That's
a
it.
ransom on a breach is going to be
That's
more
it.
than what you would have
That
paid for years.
that's it.
Just once. Now, keep in mind, once you get hacked, the bad guys are going to keep backdoors on your system. So unless you blow up everything and start from scratch, it's not an easy task to secure your system again. I mean, you got to get all kinds of forensics involved in that. But what do we see in as far as small business goes when something like this happens? The small business, they just go out of business.
I was about to say, great minds think alike. We've said this, statistic before. I think it was either 85 or 87, or maybe high percent of businesses that are hacked end up going under. I
Yeah,
mean,
especially, and this is especially true for small business. Small
yeah,
businesses, they don't report it. They just silently die out. And
yeah,
I mean, you don't get to read it in the news. You don't get to see all that. The larger businesses or the public companies, they have to reveal this information, so you get to know it. You get to read about it.
right,
Uh, but there are so many small businesses that, if something happens, they may reach out trying to do some analysis around it, and then very soon afterwards, they just can't. They don't have a sustainable situation. They
uh,
just go out of business.
it's sad.
So it's a sad situation. But the thing is, what makes or breaks IT in this day and age is the process that your IT service provider, whether it's in-house or outsourced, whatever it is, it's the process they have, not the tools, not the people, the process that they have that makes or breaks IT. So
Absolutely.
saying, "Oh, I've got great people," well, you can have great people, but still have a shitty company. You can have a great product, but still go out of business.
Yeah,
It's not just one of these things, that it's the process. A company that has the most worthless product out there, but one of the best processes in place, will do great.
yeah,
Uh, and one of the some of the examples that I like to give is, like, look at what happened with Novell. Nobody knows about Novell NetWare anymore, right?
nope,
Nobody knows about it. So Novell NetWare was competing with Microsoft Windows back in the day, and Novell NetWare was a network operating system back in the day when Windows was just trying to get into networking, right?
I remember. Yeah,
Very powerful, very robust system that network admins could pretty much make it spin on its head if they wanted to. But I mean, it was a great product, but the process in the company was not good. They couldn't compete. They failed to a company called Microsoft, who's who was known as a sales engine.
yeah,
Microsoft, you associate technology with Microsoft. Microsoft
yeah.
was not a technology is not a technology company. You know, Microsoft for the longest time under Steve Ballmer was a sales company.
Mm.
That's what Microsoft was. So the thing is, it's the process that really makes and breaks you. You can have a bad product, you can have riffraff of people, but it's your process that's gonna really make or break your company. So look at your IT situation. Look at your processes. If you have in-house IT team, look at the processes. Look at how they do things, what their process checklist is. Like I say, the five roles, the TAM and the VCIO, they work hand in hand. And a lot of times, people look at me as like, well, you just told me that. I can do the same thing now. And he's like, oh no, I told you the roles. I didn't tell you the
The
process behind the
process.
roles. That's where the intellectual property is the process behind those roles. Identifying the roles wasn't the big, you know, light going off. That
Right,
a lot of companies know about them.
right.
If you've been in IT for a while, you probably know about it, and if you don't, you shouldn't be in IT anyway. But the thing is, it's the process behind that is the closely guarded secret, the secret sauce that IT service providers have out there. So yeah, we are now at the big boys table. I think there's going to be more mergers and acquisitions like this, for good or for bad. Um, and To change the subject a little bit, isn't today the last day for taxes?
Good Lord, it is. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. I know what I'm going to be doing the next 2 hours because I
Filing for
totally,
an extension?
yeah, I'm going to file for, I totally, it slipped my mind. Thank you because I was legitimately not thinking of it. Wow.
So, so everyone, good Friday, and hopefully, if you haven't, go ahead and file your extensions.
Don't be like Mac. Don't be like Mac, who didn't even think about it till just now. I would have went the whole weekend and not even thought about it.
Yeah,
Please
no,
don't be like me.
and it's like, don't worry about how you're going to save on tax. Just pay the taxes.
Just
It's
pay
a
the
good thing.
tax.
I mean, if you're asked to pay a certain amount of taxes, it's because you made that money. The government is not going to make you pay taxes if you didn't make that money. So yeah, I hear people saying, "Oh, but I got to pay these taxes." Well, that's a good thing. That means you made money.
Yeah, that makes you make a little money. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, to go back to the Dean's point, if you need help in just identifying whether or not your current process is up to snuff, if you might be in danger of well, like Nadeem said, it's not a matter of if, when a breach is going to happen, but you want to know at least if you have contingency plans and things of that nature, reach out, email me, mack, at PCSN.net. We'll get you on a Deem schedule. When I tell you the Deem schedule is packed, jam packed, it is. Because, for what it's worth, there are some people that are like, I need this looked at. So reach out to us. Nadeem is always willing to talk to people without any pretense just to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, and there are a few things that we can say right here. You want to make sure that you have a good process around your backups. A lot of times, I talk to people and they say, "Oh yeah, we have good backups," and I was like, "Okay, well, show me your process around your backups." And that process is broken because they back up, they wait on the system report to say that it's backed up. They don't have anything in place to actually do a restore because backups don't fail at the stage that they're backed up at. Backups
Yeah.
fail when you go to restore them. That's where
Yeah.
backups fail.
Yep.
If you can't restore something, it's useless.
Yeah.
So that's just an example of what you want to do. Everything that you do, you have to have a process around that. Backups are one. Disaster recovery, patch management, event log management. A lot of times, like especially in small companies, nobody is looking at event logs and trying to see if there is something bad happening until it happens. I mean, are
It's
you
true.
looking at your machines trying to see if anybody from outside is trying to log in? Because the machine is going to log that in the event log when a user tries to log in and they fail. Basically, they try to break in, trying to guess your password. The machine's going to log an event, but if nobody's watching, nobody knows. Eventually,
Yeah.
the bad guy will get in.
I mean, like we've seen, I think, Nadeem, didn't this happen recently? I know it happened when I kind of first started with PCSN, where the guys were kind of just waiting and just sitting near the machine, and no one even knew until they lost $65,000 or some ridiculous amount that they unfortunately could not get back. But I thought something recently happened again, same thing where the bad guys were just, they breached, they stood there, they waited, and when they found a perfect opportunity,
Yeah, yeah, and that's what a lot of hackers do. They build these assets and they don't cash them out right away. They'll
yep,
sit on them until the opportunity is ripe for, until the fruit is ready for the picking, and that's when they attack. So they're going to sit there for a while. Now, not to say that every time this happens, because I've heard stories both ways. Like I've heard of like this one company I was talking to, they were like, well, yeah, we had an issue and our IT didn't catch it, and they were trying to find out from their IT department, what really happened, and they were saying, well, it was something that was sitting on there, and they just activated, and it was like, well, how do you know this? So the IT department could not provide the evidence of how they know this. So they were just guessing. It's like, well, we couldn't figure it out, so let's just say this, and
Right.
we'll keep our head low and keep going. but but the thing is, if your IT provider says something like that, demand the evidence. There has to
Yeah.
be an evidence. If there
Yeah.
was something like that, there's always evidence behind. And I've even heard from companies where they say, "Oh yeah, we've done a forensic analysis and this is what we found." Well, show me the forensic report,
Yeah.
and then they can't find the report. Where's the audit trail? And then they don't have anything.
Well,
So the
it
thing
never
is, the
happened.
process was already broken. They're
Yeah.
now just trying to cover it up,
Yeah.
their broken process with excuses and stuff, and that's just not going to work going into the future as this industry just matures. Those kind of service providers who are doing those kind of things are going to go out of business pretty quick.
And not only is the industry maturing, as we said before, the bad guys are rapidly evolving on a daily
So
basis. You know.
yeah, and let me correct myself. When I say industry is maturing, the entire industry, including the bad guys.
Yeah.
Because the bad guys are getting more and more sophisticated as well, not just
Yeah.
the good guys.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the bad guys are here's the situation. The cards are stacked against the good guys.
There it is.
The good guys have to block the bad guys every time.
Yeah.
Every time. You cannot fail even once.
Yeah.
The bad guys only have to get in once. That's all they need.
That's all they need. Yeah.
So the cards are already stacked against the good guys.
Yeah.
That's how bad the situation is.
Yeah. That's it.
And that's just
Yeah.
a fact of life.
That's just the fact.
So I think with that, we'll let everybody get back. Mac, I know you got to file an extension too. So
Yeah. Let me go ahead and knock that out real quick.
so everybody have a great day. Good Friday and happy Easter
Happy
tomorrow.
Easter, everyone.
And we'll see you next time.
Have a good one. Bye.